Hello, my friends, and happy Thursday night and happy spring. Yes, we are officially in spring. So I'm excited. I'm sure you guys are also really excited about seeing those beautiful spring blooms. In fact, just a couple of days ago, we went hiking through the woods looking for those early wildflowers. We didn't find any actual blooms, to my great disappointment, but you can see little teeny tiny um, flowers trying to grow. And I know my neighbor's flowers are starting to come up. She has daffodils, so we could see these little teeny tiny daffodils coming up. So just a few more days probably. You know, it happens so fast in the spring that we see all this greenery and then all of a sudden everything is in bloom. But in the meantime, in anticipation of spring and summer, I am already thinking about all these different designs with flowers and leaves. It's a really inspiring time. So today we are going to grow a bracelet. We're going to grow a flower for our wrist. So, oh, here's my sample. It's right here in front of me. This is what it looks like. And I love these beautiful borosilicate glass blossoms. This is what the three different colors look like. We have a kind of pale turquoise with a little bit of periwinkle, which of course periwinkle is a very, very hot color this year. And I'm a big fan of reds and oranges always, and of course blues as well, so I do love them all. And as we get started, we will talk a little bit more about borosilicate glass. So in the meantime, this is what the bracelet looks like. Let me just show it to you. So we have the blossom itself that becomes a part of our clasp. And we have a slightly contrasting color Swarovski bead inside the flower. And of course, this bracelet is a multi-strand piece. And if you were thinking about maybe creating a bracelet that is multi-strand and you don't have a large enough hole for all these different strands, today you're going to find out exactly how to add the extra strands. So we're going to be solving a little puzzle. So I hope you're a little bit intrigued.
Fonda says, good evening, everyone. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. I'm so glad to hear from you, Fonda.
Ellen says, hi, Irina. Excited to see this inspirational bracelet.
Oh, thank you so much, Ellen.
Kathy K says, hi, everyone. Good day to make jewelry.
Hi, Kathy. I agree with you. It's a great day to make jewelry. Well, of course, any day is a good day to make jewelry, but especially when it's a little cold and yucky outside, at least here in the Midwest. It is just so fun to play with beautiful colors and, of course, these glass blooms.
Connie says, hello, Irina, Tony, Lauren, and everyone.
Hi, Connie. Thank you for joining us.
Betty says, good evening, you guys.
Hi, Betty.
Barb says, good evening. Checking in tonight from Florida.
Oh, yay. Hello, Barb from Florida.
Robin Marie says, hi, Irina and Tony.
Hi, Robin Marie.
CD says, been looking forward to this time with you. Happy spring.
Oh, thank you. And happy spring to you, CD. I'm glad you're joining me today.
Kim C says, hi, Irina, Tony, Lauren, and all.
Hi, Kim.
Allie says, hi, excited to see this project.
Hi, Allie. And I'm so excited to show it to you. Yay.
Diana says, happy to be here from Washington.
Hi, Diana.
Robin Marie.
And are you new? If you are, welcome to our group.
Robin Marie says, oh, great, I didn't miss it.
Hi, Hi, Robin Marie. Yes, no, you did not miss it.
Kathy D says, good evening, Irina, Tony, and all.
Hi, Kathy.
Kim K says, so beautiful. Happy Thursday.
Thank you so much, Kim, and happy Thursday.
Mary Elizabeth says, hello, everyone. I'm anticipating this demo, Irina. It's gorgeous.
Oh, thank you so much, Mary Elizabeth.
Jane says, these are so pretty. Hi, everyone.
Thank you so much, Jane. Again, while we're saying hi, I will show off the other colors.
Angelica says, good evening, everyone.
Hi, Angelica. Thanks for joining us.
Julie says, hello. Eager to see how you put this together.
Oh, thank you so much, Julie. Yes, I think it's kind of fun. Well, it's not exactly a trick, but, well, I guess all will be revealed.
Trudy says, hi, everyone.
Hi, Trudy.
Angelica adds, I love those buttons.
Oh, thank you so much, Angelica. You know, looking at all of these three buttons together, it's a bit Chihuly-like. If you are a fan of Dale Chihuly, this is just, I don't know, this just feels so good and it looks so beautiful. I love these buttons. You know, every one is a little different because, of course, they're hand created. And if you're new to borosilicate glass, I'll tell you a little bit about it in a moment.
Patty T says, good evening, everyone.
Hi, Patty.
And so does Angela.
And hello, Angela.
Diana says, yes, I am. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm glad you're joining us.
Betty says, did you say that flower is glass?
It is indeed, Patty, and thank you for asking.
Carol says, love your jewelry.
Thank you so much, Carol. Okay, ladies, so yes, it is indeed glass, and you know, the thing about borosilicate glass is, ta-da, look at this. All these flowers are going to make friends now. They're not fighting, they're just, you know, maybe they are hugging. I'm just showing you that they are very, very hard glass. They're made out of very hard glass. Borosilicate glass is that same glass as your Pyrex dishes. It's the same glass as all the little beakers that they use for various science projects. If you have ever taken chemistry, it's the same type of glass, and you know that it's hard glass. It's not easily broken. Like, you have to really work hard at it.
Robin Marie says, beautiful flower buttons.
Thank you so much, Robin Marie.
Allie says, the buttons really do look like Dale Chihuly's great work. Our Milwaukee Art Museum has one of the great sculptures in the entryway. Just beautiful.
Yes, it does. It is beautiful, as is the rest of our beautiful art museum in Milwaukee. If anybody has not been, come on down. Please explore our gorgeous art museum. It's really something to see. In fact, it is... it's a Calatrava building, and he, of course, is an amazing architect, and he created this building so that, well, it's inspired by a sailing ship, and so the wings of the museum open and close, and it's just really beautiful. I can talk about it for a long time, but we're not going to do that because we are going to make a bracelet. But I do love that museum. All right, guys, so when let's see, where do we start? Let's get our bearings. So let's start with Ceylon, shall we? So this bracelet is made on Ceylon, and I have a segment of Ceylon in front of me. And my choice of Ceylon is always just maybe a shade or two more pale than the beads in the project. So that is generally my strategy, unless it is the Ceylon that happens to be the focal point of the project. So the Ceylon is meant to complement and just kind of fade a little bit into the background. So in this case, making this bracelet, I wanted to accentuate this this color in the background of the flowers. So I hope that the camera reads it really well. And the color is like a really light, transparent, beautiful periwinkle. And so I chose the same periwinkle for my Ceylon. I'm working with standard Ceylon, which is often my choice for jewelry lately. I just really love it. I love that it adds a little element of color as opposed to just being a stringy material. And of course, it's very drapey and fun to work with. So when you get this kit, you're going to actually get 12 feet of Ceylon. And this is so that you can make a larger bracelet if you need to. But in the meantime, to start the project, what we're going to do is cut our Ceylon into 3 equal lengths. So we're going to get 3 lengths of 4 feet each. And what we're going to do with each one of those segments is we are going to make a self needle. And for that, I know some of you have seen me do this like a schmillion times. So this is going to be a schmillion and first time. So what we need to do to make a self needle is I'm using super new glue. I like super new glue for this because super new glue is not at all viscous. It's very runny. It's kind of like water, and that is the type of glue that we want for making a self needle. Because so you saw I just put a little bit of glue on my string at the end of my string, and I'm going to remove as much glue with this little piece of paper that's folded over. So just remove as much as will come off. So because it is not a gap filling glue, it is not a viscous glue, when it dries, we're actually not adding any bulk to our string. We're just making it nice and stiff like a needle so that we can very, very easily go through our beads.
Yolanda says happy Thursday.
Hello, Yolanda, and happy Thursday.
Joan says good evening, everyone.
Hi, Joan.
And Ellen says there's a Dale Chihuly magnificent ceiling at the Bellagio in Las Vegas. So beautiful.
Yes, there is.
I remember that.
Yes, we stayed in the Bellagio once, and we very much enjoyed that ceiling. It's absolutely stunning. All right, guys. So I just made a self needle with both ends of my string, my Ceylon, and we're going to do that. So remember how we cut our string into 3 equal lengths. So go ahead and do it with all 3 of the lengths. So we should have 6 ends, right? And once our ends are dry, this is what we're going to do. We are going to use our cutter and just cut each one at an angle, making like a little point, almost like a real needle, right? So we're making a little point. So this is all in the efforts to, once we start stringing, okay, I don't like this needle, it's not pointy enough, so I'm just going to recut it. Okay, that's nice and pointy. So this is all so that we can very easily string our beads. And I think we are ready to get started. And yes, I only did it with just one length, but this is just in the interest of saving a little bit of time. Okay, so what I'm going to do is tie a knot, just a regular overhand knot, right in the center of my string. So I will make sure that the ends are fairly even, and I am going to start tying my knot. So this is just an overhand knot. You do this probably every day. There's nothing special about this. And before I tighten it, I will again check the ends so that if I need to move my knot a little bit, so your ends don't have to be exactly even. because you do have a lot of extra string. I do that so that it's easy, but you know, within a couple of inches is pretty reasonable.
Karen says, running late. Good evening, all.
Hi, Karen. I'm just getting started, and you can always rewatch the beginning. I'm so glad you're joining us.
Katie says, hi from New Berlin. I love your brick and mortar new store. Wonderful things.
Oh, thank you so much, Katie. Well, next time you stop in, and please do say hi. I love meeting people who watch me, and maybe we have met. I don't know. So next time, make sure you ask for me and say hi. Okay, so once I have my knot, I'm actually ready to start stringing my beads. So I have a 6 millimeter Swarovski faceted bead and this cool little ring, and I'm going to put both ends of my string through the 6 millimeter bead. So because sometimes as you make the self needle, it does thicken the string just a little bit, you might want to put one end through and then the other, as opposed to putting both ends through together.
Katie says, yes, we've met.
Oh, fantastic, Katie. Yay. Well, in that case, ask for me anyway, just to remind me who you are. Okay, so so you can see where the knot ended up. And what I'm going to do is actually let me first point out before I do this for realsies. So because on one of my colorways, I have, oh, excuse me. On one of my colorways, I have gold and brass findings as opposed to silver findings. I used a different little flower. So here, let me show you what the little flower looks like. So if you do end up getting the red colorway, we called it poppy. So if you end up getting the poppy, what you're going to do is instead of the little silver ring with the dots that I love so much. I think this is just such a nice little detail for any project. But instead of this, you're going to have this beautiful little filigree finding. I know it's a bit hard to see, or maybe it's not, I don't know. But so you're going to use the little filigree finding instead, and the bead is going to go right inside the filigree finding. So you're going to use it in exact same way as I'm about to use the ring. But I just wanted to point that out because it's a little bit different. So we're going to put both ends of the seal-on through the ring, okay? And now both ends go through the flower, and you can see we already have this beautiful little blossom with a lovely Swarovski faceted bead. And now you can see that the hole in the flower is really quite large. I hope you can see that. So in order for our bead to, our button, I should say, to sit in the same spot and not move around, what we're going to do is use a little bead, an 8/0 seed bead. You have seen me demo these in multiple projects, in 11/0, in 8/0, 6/0, occasionally 15/0. So I'm using those wonderful little hollow metal beads with a nice large hole. So we're going to take that bead and go through it with both ends of the string. And you may have to work at it a little bit, but as you can see, it goes through quite easily. Okay, so we're going to slide it all the way up to our flower. And it kind of, because of its shape, it's going to kind of nest in the hole. So it almost partially goes into the hole. And then we are going to tie a knot as close, and again, this is just a regular overhand knot. So I'm tying a knot as close to the bead as I possibly can. And so far, we have made a lot of knotting projects, or at least projects where we do some knotting. So this, you should not be a stranger to this, right? But even if you're joining me for the very first time, don't feel that it has to be perfect, because you can always tug on both ends of the string. You can see me tugging, right? And if it wasn't close enough until now, well, now it's definitely close enough. So it should just secure all of our components that we have used thus far in place. So we have the faceted Swarovski, we have the ring, and we have the flower. We have the little 8-0 bead on the other side, and you just secure it by tugging on both ends of the string. And now we're going to continue. So let me point out. So what's really fun about this bracelet? Well, of course, the focal point is absolutely beautiful. It is handmade. It's just a beautifully made glass flower. But outside of that, what makes it really fun is using multiple strands of beads in a variety of shades that complement the focal point, right? And when I say a variety of shapes, I really tried to give it as much diversity and as much texture as I possibly can, because that's what we look for in a bracelet like this. When we have a multi-strand bracelet, especially if you're going for the fun boho look, it's nice to vary the shapes, vary the textures, vary the colors. So I included the 2-hole super duo beads. So this, here, let me isolate it. So this strand right here is made with the super duo beads, and we're going to start with those beads.
Lorene says, I love both colorways. Beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much, Laureen. I have a surprise for you. We're going to have a third colorway. In fact, we are starting on it right this moment. There are 2 colorways that are already listed in the Etsy shop, and that, of course, is Ocean. Did we call this Ocean? I think we called it Ocean.
Lagoon.
Lagoon, thank you. You know, I love it all. I love lagoons. I love the ocean. So this is Lagoon. And also Poppy is in the Etsy shop as well. And you'll see a little bit more of the Poppy in just a few minutes.
Lorraine says, hello, Irina and Tony.
Hello, Lorraine.
Karen says, I'm loving the dark blue.
Oh, thank you so much. So the dark blue is the new one. You kind of know how I do this, right? I mean, it's not always the same, but very often I will make an extra sample as I'm doing this video. So you guys are literally watching the third colorway grow right in front of your eyes.
Lorene says, beautiful.
Thank you so much, Lorene. All right, ladies, so we are going to start stringing with our super duo beads. And if you're familiar with them, you know it's like a little, it's almost like a little diamond shape with 2 holes. So the easiest way to pick them up and string them is exactly like what I just did. So you use 1 strand to pick up just the 1 hole, and then you use the other strand. You may have to just kind of guide it a little bit with your fingers. So now I'm just using my self needles to pick up the seed beads, because they're going to be two seed beads in between each bead. So now you can really see where the string is coming out, so you can see that it's a 2-strand bead. So it just gives it another little facet, a different texture, a different shape, and of course a slightly different color. So I really love to play with these colors. And even though they're a bit on the monochromatic side, they're definitely not all one color. Some of these are going to end up a little bit more vibrant, and of course lagoon is a little bit more like a really quiet, peaceful lagoon. So as I'm stringing, let me just point out, if you have your strings a little bit like this, so that the two ends of my string here, can you see? The two ends of my string are not entirely even. So one is just like sticking out a little bit more so than the other. It actually is a lot easier to string your beads. And you can just pick up your beads and string them onto the Ceylon like what I'm doing now. Or you can use the Ceylon to pick up the beads the way I did a moment ago. So really whatever is easier for you. So it would be like this. So just pick it up and push it on with your finger. And yes, even though we made the self needle and it's a little bit stiffer, it's still, as you can see, skinny enough to for your beads to very easily go onto the string. So just make sure not to make it too thick. Make sure that you are using the super glue glue and remove as much as you can.
Robin Marie says, I love the red one. I'm just wondering if you sell the buttons separately.
Robin Marie, yes, we do sell the buttons separately, absolutely, but not in the Etsy shop. It's just not really feasible for us to list everything in the world. But if you get in touch with Kathy, she will most definitely send you some buttons.
Beverly is wondering what size seed bead you are using as the spacer.
Thank you for asking, Beverly. It's 11/0 seed bead. So, so you get the idea. We're just going to keep stringing until we have our desired length. So this is a good time to talk about our desired length. So let's talk about the length, shall we? Let me grab my little. I need a bigger ruler in here, but it's okay. So this bracelet measures about, if you were to measure from the button, or like from the back of the button all the way to the loop. Okay, so the little tassel is not included in the measurement because obviously it has nothing to do with sizing, it just has to do with fun. So so I happen to know that, well, actually, wait, was this 7.5 inches?
I was close to 8.
Close to 8 inches. Okay, cool. So, and of course, when you get the kit, you can make the piece up to 9 inches. So you can definitely make it longer than 9. But just for so the process of measuring. So this loop is going to add, oh wait, wrong side of the ruler. So this loop is going to, so between the knot and the loop itself, it's going to add roughly 1.25, actually no, 1.5 inches. Okay, so it's going to add about 1.5 inches. So whatever you are doing size-wise, subtract 1.5 inches for the beaded part, okay? So for example, if I'm making a 7.5 inch bracelet, my beaded part is going to be 6 inches, and you can see that I'm measuring it and it's 6 inches. I hope that made sense.
Lorraine says Kathy is a sweetheart.
Oh, thank you so much, Lorraine. Yes, Kathy is so awesome, and she will find whatever you're looking for. Just let her know that you saw it in a video, and I will help her find it if she's having trouble. So either way, we will make you happy.
Carol says good evening.
Hi, Carol. Good evening.
And Laureen says, are the kits available in the store or just on the Etsy site?
Oh, they're available in the store as well. So the way that it happens is we can't actually make them available until the video takes place, because once we have posted the video, we use the link to the video. So in other words, we don't have a link until it's after the video. So generally, once, so let's say I do the video today, and then, of course, I will do another video tomorrow morning. All of these kits should be available by around 3 in the afternoon, because the final packaging does not happen until we have a link to the video. So if you would rather pick the kits up at the store, that's fantastic. We would love to see you. So come on down, maybe around 3 or later. So we talked a little bit about the sizing. So if I'm making a 7.5-inch bracelet, all my little beaded strands are going to be 6 inches and so forth.
Your buddy Nancy says, hi, Irina and Tony. Just happened to stop by. This bracelet is gorgeous.
Oh, thank you so much, Nancy. Here, let me show this off again. Let me tempt you a little bit. I know you're more of an earring girl, but I think you like bracelets too. So this is what it looks like. Okay, it's hard to put it on and show it to the camera all at the same time, but this is what it looks like, and we will have 2 more luscious colors. Ta-da! All right, so I'm going to take it off so we can have it in front of us. Okay, so through the magic of Facebook Live, we have this first strand already done. All I have to do is just untangle it from all the other stuff on my table. So here it is, and yes, I have a lot of fun things on my table. So here it is, and so I'm making this piece about the same length as the first, and therefore I made the strong this double strand of super duos about the same 6-inch length. So now I'm just going to move everything down towards the button. So isn't it amazing how we chatted for a minute or two and it's all done. So once you get to the length that you want, this is maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just a little long. Maybe I'll take one off. So once you get to your desired length, we are going to tie a knot using both strings, both ends of the string, and we're going to get somewhat close, but not super close. So you might want to leave just a little bit of space. And I will show you what I mean by a little bit of space. I'm talking about like maybe 1 millimeter. So again, we're just going to use 2 strands to make the same overhand knot. And that is all it takes.
Lisa's wondering why we would have a kit for this and not include instructions. It's a good question.
That's a great question, Lisa. We have instructions. Yay, you're watching it right now. So the video are the instructions, because it is actually a lot easier and a lot less time consuming to make this video, especially when it's Facebook Live, rather than to make the instructions. I find this to be more effective because then you can ask me questions, we can interact, people can make suggestions. I think it's really much more like a class rather than like an article or like, well, a set of written instructions. So it's just the format that is really, really working for me right now. It allows me to make these videos twice a week rather than maybe like, I don't know, once a month if I were to do written instructions for all of them. So I hope that this works for you as well. Let me know, anybody who has purchased these kits, let me know if this has worked for you as far as maybe rewatching the video, or did you even have to rewatch the video? So if you want to share your experience, I would love it. But yes, in the meantime, it allows me to spend more time on design and keep moving on, and this way I can have a lot more projects for you guys. Because, you know, I don't know if you know, but I have actually spent a good chunk of my life writing books. And as much as I have enjoyed writing these books, and I love having them, and I love that some of you guys have them as well, but it's a very different process. It does not allow you to be quite as prolific as I am these days. Okay, guys, so I tied a knot, but yeah, please tell me what your experience has been making some of these pieces with just the videos. And of course, there's a link to the video. When you buy, every kit you buy, there is a link to the original video, so you don't have to search for it. All right, guys, so I tied a knot, and now we are going to move on to the next couple of steps.
Ellen says, videos are great. I prefer to written instructions, much more dynamic.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Ellen.
Kathy G says, I prefer the video instructions for all the reasons you just explained.
Thank you. Yay. I'm so, you know, it's nice to get a little feedback because, I mean, I have done it both ways, obviously, and I have enjoyed it both ways, but I want to do it the way that it works for you.
Fonda says, it works for me with the video. After I get the kids, I rewatch the video as I make the kit.
Fantastic.
Oh, kits, sorry.
Yeah, no, I knew what you meant. Yes, not kids, but kits, yes. So thank you so much, Fonda.
Jane says, I find that the videos are easy to find and very helpful with more information than written instructions.
Yay! You know, when you teach a real live class, which I get it, you guys are not here in front of me, but this is as close as it gets for some people because maybe they're not even in the same state, or maybe because of the pandemic, they're just not leaving the house a whole lot. Even still, I know of some people who are not. But so this is as close to a real class as it gets without actually having a real class. And I love the give and take. Even, I mean, I wish you guys were all here, but I really love the give and take, and I have many chances to paraphrase if I need to. So so yeah, I'm super happy that it's working for you.
Jane says, I find that the videos are easy to find and very helpful with more information than written instructions.
Thank you so much, Jane.
Debbie says, prefer video.
Thank you so much, Debbie.
Ellen says, I've ordered several kits, much easier.
Awesome.
Karen says, I save the video off and use it for the instruction if needed. We need to quit killing trees.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, I love that you said that. Yeah.
Angela says, I order almost every kit and the video instructions work for me.
Thank you so much, Angela. Well, this is some really good feedback, and you know, I really wish I could make everybody happy, but you heard my reasons, and yeah, I just wanted to hear from you if this is really working well.
Kathy D says, videos are great and easy to get to.
Yay, thank you so much. And you know, you guys can ask questions. If you feel that you're going to maybe hit a little bump, please don't be shy, because I really want you to ask questions. And you can go back to the video and rewatch it whenever, or just maybe rewatch a part of it. You can rewind when you need to.
CD says, the videos are great. It is helpful to follow your techniques visually.
Thank thank you so much, Sadie. It's always better to see, right? It's better to what is the saying? It's better to see once than to hear 100 times, something like that.
Patty says, yes, I like the videos better also. If I need to rewatch a portion, I am struggling with, I can.
Oh, cool. Thank you so much.
Carol says, for me, it's easy to make a kit and watch as I'm making it something.
Yay. Yay.
Lorraine says the videos are great, and I'm sure if we need to ask you a question, would be available to do so.
Absolutely. Please don't be shy.
Robin Marie says, I love the videos. I'm better watching them. I'm not good with written instructions.
Yeah, you know, I've heard that from other people as well, and maybe I am a little bit like that too.
Allie says the videos, love the videos as well. Your written instructions in the older kits were great too.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes,
Kim-
I still have a few older kits for which we have directions, but all the new kits are just like this. The instructions are the video.
Kim K says, I'm a visual learner, hands-on learner. I'm a visual hands-on learner, so I love the videos.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for all of your wonderful feedback. That makes me feel really good. So, okay, ladies, did you see what I just did? Let me backtrack and we'll do it again. So remember what I said, leave just a little bit of room. So don't make it too tight. So, well, the reason we don't want to make it too tight is because we don't want our bracelets stiff. But, and I'm talking about where you tie the knot. But the other reason we want to leave just a tiny bit of room is because, do you see where, just below the knot, the two strands of the Ceylon split? So what we'll do, and yes, I'm introducing a new strand of Ceylon. So remember how in the very beginning, we cut our Ceylon into three equal lengths, and this is the second length of Ceylon, and I'm putting it right into that little corner, that little split where the two ends of Ceylon just kind of split from the knot. And so you can see that I have my string, and it's right in the center of the string. So I have my two ends of the Ceylon aligned, and so this would be the center, and I will simply tie a knot. So this resolves the issue of how do we add our string since we only went through with one length, right? So this is how you add it right into that little triangle that the Ceylon makes below the knot. And again, we can always tug on the string and tighten the knot. And of course, you remember that we have one remaining length of Ceylon, and we're going to add it in the very same way by going through that little fork in the Ceylon. So you can see that little fork in the Ceylon. Can you see that? Yeah, cool. All right, so again, I'm going to align the ends of my Ceylon and tie another knot. So I'm going to try to get as close as I can, but if I don't get super close, I can always tug on the two ends and get it a little closer still. All right, so now this is how we get all of our strands. So because of course this strand consists of two whole beads, we have one strand that is made with two ends of Ceylon, and we have four remaining ends of Ceylon for four more strands. And so when you get your kits, you have five different, well actually you have 6 different types of beads because I wasn't initially counting. the 11-O's, but you have some 11-O's, you have some soft edge triangles like this, you have some sharp edge triangles, you have two different sizes of faceted beads or thunder polish, and of course you have the 2-hole super duos. And so as you saw with our first strand, we're just going to use our seed beads on an occasional strand, not necessarily all of them, but we're going to use them on some of the strands, and I will point out which strands you absolutely have to have super duos on. I'm sorry, the 11-O's on. So if you notice, so of course you have to have the 11-O's on the strand with the super duos, because otherwise they're just not going to lay correctly. Also, we're going to have a lot of exposed string, which in itself is not a bad thing, but I think it does look better with the seed beads. Also, when you look at the sharp edge triangles, those I feel really do need that little extra spacer. And the reason they need the extra spacer is because the flat side of the triangle, if we were to put them all by them, if we were to string them all by themselves, because there is that flat side to the triangle, it's not going to be all that bendable, because in order for any strand of beads to be nice and bendable, it has to be a little bit rounded, or maybe sometimes a lot rounded. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? So if you have all flat side beads next to each other, it is just not going to drape all that nicely. So some strands are going to be like this, like what I'm doing right now, where every other bead is a seed bead. It's also a nice little accent, nice metallic accent, and it just really adds to the look of our piece. But also, obviously, there's a really practical side to doing it like this. All right, so you probably don't want to sit there and watch me string the entire bracelet, so I think I'm going to stop right about here, and then just point out that every strand is a different bead. And once you get to, well, you know what? Here, this one is probably going to go super, super fast. So maybe we'll create one more strand before we move on. So I'm just going to use the larger bead, the larger faceted bead. And we're just going to string these without the seed beads, which of course will expedite it a lot. So technically, the only strand you need the seed beads for is the sharp edge triangle strand. Everything else is optional. So, and if you decide to maybe mix it up a little bit, maybe you want to create patterns, maybe you want to use different shapes of beads per the same strand, you can always experiment, because every time we create any piece of art, it's a bit of an experiment. And if you want to change it, it's okay. My feelings are not hurt. You can always play around and see what you like. And if you like something better, you can do that. Okay, guys, see, this one is going super, super fast. I hope I grabbed enough beads for this strand. I just wanted to show it to you side by side before I move on to the next step. And this is such a pretty color. I don't know what color this is, but it's like it's a Montana blue. Actually, it's like a Montana blue, but there's some kind of a beautiful finish on it. It's almost like a titanium coating. It's definitely not an AB coating. I'm going to say it's probably a titanium coating. So you have these wonderful nuances of silver and maybe just a little hint of gold and a little hint of purple. I just really love this color. I think that all these different colors together really complement the colors of the button or the main component, because technically it's not actually a button, it's just a flower with a single hole. But I love using it as a button. And you can have a button with just one hole. It just means that you have to use something as a stopper for it to work as a button. Okay, you guys, we are getting so close. We have maybe 1 more inch of these wonderful faceted beads. And then we can tie a knot. So this bracelet is really just about stringing and knotting. It doesn't use a whole lot of tools. So if you have a friend who is maybe just starting out in making jewelry, even though there's a lot of stringing in this bracelet, but I feel like it's really doable even by somebody who is just starting out, because it does not require tools, and most people can knot, right? I mean, who doesn't know how to knot? Okay, guys, so you can see that my strand is right about the same length as the previous strand. I don't know, maybe you can use one more bead, right? So let's use one more, and then we are going to tie a knot. Okay, so that is perfect. And you know what? Because of the size of the beads, and I'm just tying a regular overhand knot again. So because of the size of the beads, they're not always going to line up perfectly. So it's okay, don't stress about it. If it's like maybe 1 millimeter or 2 longer, it's just not a big deal. Okay, ladies, so you can see I tied the knot, and I'm going to do that with all of the strands. So every one of these strands is going to end in the very same way, with you get to the length of whatever your desired length is minus about 1.5 inches, and you tie a knot. All right, so now through the magic of Facebook Live, guess what? All these strands are already pre-strung. And not only that, amazingly, they changed color. I know, right? It's magic. So you can see that some of the strands are just a little tiny bit longer, and it's all about the size of the bead, so it's not a big deal. So here is our next step. We are going to gather all these strands and just kind of make the knots even. And we are going to tie one big, impressive overhand knot. And here we go. I'm trying to get as close as I can. And at first it looks really chunky like this. And then we're just going to start pulling on each individual strand. So just like pull each strand and tighten, and just kind of set it to the side so that you know you already pulled on it. And so now our knot is nice and tight. And I do like that the string shows. I mean, this Ceylon, it comes in just the most beautiful colors. And that is really why I love working with it, because it allows me so many opportunities to complement whatever beads I'm using. All right, so we have a knot. And now we are going to make this loop. So on on 2 out of 3 of my colorways. So that's the Lagoon, and also I haven't named the dark blue yet. So I don't know if you guys have names. I mean, it's a little cobalt, but it's not entirely cobalt. But if you have some names you want to suggest, go for it. So, so on those 2 colorways, I'm using these wonderful Tibetan style silver beads. But on the poppy colorway, I'm using a different bead because remember, it's not a silver metal type of colorway. I feel like gold complements it so much more. Actually, yes, gold, but it's not all gold because, like, for example, seed beads that I used are actually champagne. So it's a much softer gold. And so I think that champagne really complements the brass, and remember the brass flower that is inside of our glass flower. So I think all of these play really nicely together. So that's what we're using.
Carol says midnight,
Ooh, midnight, I like it.
and Lorraine says sapphire.
Cool, sapphire. Okay, so let me do a little describing as I do the next couple of steps.
Kathy G says, for the dark blue bracelet, how about Cobalt Dreams?
You know what? I think it's a little bit unfair to ask you to name things that you have not seen in its entirety. So I'm going to describe it to you as I string my next set of beads. So you can see, this is what I did. I split my 6 strands of Ceylon, because remember there's 6 strands coming out of the knot. So we have 3 and 3, and it is all 3 strands that are going to go through our metal beads.
Kathy G says deep blue sea.
I like it. So far, I love them all. I love them. But, so it's going to be a little more, I'm going to try to bring in a little bit of that lighter color. And I feel like it may be a little bit more denim, although maybe it's not. I kind of like, what are some of the options? Deep blue sea.
Ellie also says midnight.
Midnight, I like midnight.
Olivia says tansy,
Tansy?
like tanzanite.
Oh, like tanzanite, yeah.
Lorraine says blue willow.
Cool. Although I think that is
pottery, might be.
yeah, I'm sure it's
copyrighted.
copyrighted. I think they would, like, come after me and not be super happy with me. Yeah, but it was, it was a good suggestion. Well, these are some really good options.
Nancy says midnight at the Oasis.
That is very evocative. I like it. So, what about, so I'm not really sure if it's going to look more denim-y or not, but so far I'm really liking midnight. But if it looks a little denim, does midnight denim sound good? Or just leave it at midnight?
Lorraine says, oh, yes, it is. I think that's in regards to blue willow being copyrighted.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I understand, where it came from, but yeah, it wouldn't be good. In fact, I have to tell you, I'll do, here's a very, very quick preview. I'll do a real preview in a little bit, but I made this bracelet, and I ended up calling it Dream Garden, but my first thought for the name was inspired by Frida Kahlo, but because her name is very much copyrighted, I could not do that. But so, I can always talk about my inspiration, but sadly, I could not call it Frida.
Ellen says denim blues.
Ooh, I like denim blues. Yeah.
Sadie says Parisian nights.
All right, I like that.
Jane says sapphire skies.
Ooh, that is very evocative.
Lorene says midnight. And Kimsey says morning glory. Reminds me of the flower.
Oh, I love morning glories.
Joni says dark skies.
Beautiful, all beautiful suggestions. Thank you so much, ladies. I don't know, I'm really liking midnight, but I think, you know how sometimes you're working on your piece. Okay, so in the meantime, I'm showing you that I have 6 and 6 beads, so that makes 12. And just so that we're really clear, if you get one of the two colorways with the silver beads for the loop, we have fewer beads. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there are 11 beads on each side, and that is because they're just slightly larger or longer than the brass beads. So if you get the poppy colorway, they're going to be 12 of these brass colored beads on each side. But either way, it's going to be about the same size loop, and our goal is obviously to make a loop that easily accommodates the flower. So yes, all really, really good color names, but I think I have to finish the bracelet first to see what it really looks like, because you know, sometimes you play with all these colors, and even though I have mostly selected all the colors for the dark blue, for our midnight flower, but you know, sometimes you just don't know until it's fully, it's like, you know, like when you have a baby, right? And until you meet the baby, it's hard to name them because, you know, they have a personality. So I think I have to meet this bracelet before I finalize the name.
Kathy D says blue waves.
I love blue waves. I love any kind of waves. I love the ocean. One of our dogs is actually named Nalu, which means ocean wave in Hawaiian.
Nancy says Irina sings the blues.
Oh my goodness.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, we don't want to hear that. No, we do not want to hear that. Well, maybe just a little bit in the shower, but not so much the blues. But it's cute. I like it. It's a cute name. All right, guys. So I have 12 beads on each side, and just to be sure, we are going to button this, right? Just to be sure, just as I'm holding on to my loop. And you know, somewhere in this room, I'm just going to go on a very quick little walkabout. I'm looking for a bead stopper. So if you feel that it's not really accurate, just holding the strands, the 6 strands, with your fingers, you can always use one of these bead stoppers, and I find them so practical and just really wonderful as I'm designing. So not only do I use them to keep my beads from falling off the strands if I put them down, but this is a really good use for it as well. So let's say I am just sort of tentatively checking if this loop is a good size loop. So I put my bead stopper on all 6 ends, and it's holding it very firmly. Okay, maybe these could move a little closer. Okay, so I just moved them closer so it's a little more realistic, and we can easily button, and so we know it's going to work. So I'm going to take off my stopper and make it permanent by tying a knot with all 6 strands again.
Speaking of knot, Joni says forget me not, and knot is spelled like you would knot something.
Yes, you know what? I almost called this one Forget Me Not, but then it really looked more like Lagoon than a Forget Me Not. because it doesn't have the little yellow center. But I absolutely love forget-me-nots. In fact, I have some in my garden.
Janny says, I love the baby name analogy, so true. And for your 4-foot kiddos and feathered kiddos too.
Yes, exactly.
Robin Marie says, I think I just have to order the red one, the red bracelet.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you like it. So, what about everybody else? Do you guys have a favorite yet?
Lynn says, hi guys, just jumped on to catch the replay.
Hi, Lynn. Well,
And will catch the replay.
Oh,
sorry.
good, good. Yes, please do. Because this is a really easy project, but there are a lot of little steps to it. And you know, none of it is difficult, but just like any other project, it does take a little bit of engineering. So I have already engineered it for you. So you might as well watch the replay.
Kim C says, the red button is really spectacular. Great color blend, such depth.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Janny says, I usually gravitate to anything in the blue-green family, and yet I'm loving Poppy. It's just mesmerizing.
Oh, thank you so much. So I'm just loosening it just a tiny bit. It doesn't need an extra bead. It just needs to just loosen up like, you know, like a millimeter.
Ellen says, denim color.
Denim color. So are you saying you would like to see more denim color, or are we still talking about names? So, but yes, I really had fun blending all the colors, and this one is really vibrant. It has the reds and the oranges and the pinks and even a little hint of purple. So this is really fun. This is going to go with just like everything.
Ellen says her favorite is
Oh.
denim color.
Oh, your favorite is denim color. Oh, wonderful.
Yolanda said, that is so pretty.
Thank you so much, Yolanda.
Robin Marie says, me too. Poppy is my fave.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
Pammy J says, oh no, I'm late. Hi, Irina, Tony, Lauren, and everyone.
It's all good, Pammy J. You are here, so that's great. I'm glad you're joining us. All right, so this is what I'm doing. I'm taking each strand of my 6 strands, and I'm tying a knot. And again, I'm all about simplicity. So these are just very simple overhand knots, and I'm tying them, oh, roughly, I would say anywhere between 6 and 12 millimeters from this big knot.
Lorene says, I'm a red girl. Love the red one.
Oh, good, thank you.
Carol says the red is nice for fall.
It's true, it's nice for fall, but because it has the pinks and the oranges, I feel like it's really good for summer as well.
Fonda says, loving the poppy color.
Awesome, thank you so much. I love actual real poppies. They're so beautiful. We grow the really big ones, and they're just spectacular. We have them in the red and also in the white, kind of the slightly pinkish white. All right, guys, so now that I have tied all of the knots, I am going to put the final little touches on each one of the strings rather. And so the final touch is just going to be that larger faceted bead followed by an 11-0 seed bead right there. So we're going to tie each one just with a simple overhand knot.
Allie says, I love the use of Ceylon. Prior to all of your videos, I've only used it for kumihimo braiding. Love both kits.
Oh, yay, thank you so much. Well, first of all, thank you. I'm glad you love the kits. And that was a good comment, you know. It's an interesting comment to me because I know that Ceylon is so underused in some ways, and it's interesting that you have used it for kumihimo, and I know that it's one of the bigger uses for Ceylon, right? And in kumihimo, often you have either just a string, or maybe you have string that shows and some beads for embellishment. But you know, it can also, and of course, the reason it's used so much for kumihimo is because of its great colors. And if the premise is that you're going to see the string, it might as well be beautiful, right? But I like having the string show in places, you know, it gives it a little more depth. It gives it a little more of a boho vibe.
Lynn says, love the spring holders, love both colors.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Gabby says, hello, Miss Irina and Tony, a silent and fairly new admirer of such great goodies, ideas, and of course, Irina's talent.
Oh, thank you so much, Gabby. So you're new to our group.
Ellen says, yes, I've only used Ceylon to sew my journals together, book arts.
Oh, interesting. I did not know that it's used for that, but that's very interesting. So I just snipped the very end of the Ceylon again because, you know, that self needle is starting to get a little dull after a while. So you can always snip the end off again. Yeah, it's really interesting to hear about the different uses of Ceylon because, you know, I obviously just use it in making jewelry. So, but yes, it's for as far as jewelry, it's really drapey, which is what I love. And it adds that little bit of boho vibe. It adds a little more color. It's just, you know, it's a different look than, say, soft flex or a different type of stringing wire, which of course also they all have their place and I enjoy using them all. But lately I enjoy using Ceylon just a little bit more. So now I'm just going to cut off all of these little ands, leaving just a little bit, like maybe 6 millimeters or so. And as long as you tie the knot pretty snugly and leave a little bit, you don't have to glue them. It just stays. It doesn't go anywhere. And that is it. That is how you finish your bracelet. So there it is. Here is our poppy bracelet. And sometime tomorrow, like early tomorrow, I will most definitely finish this darker blue bracelet, and then we will find out what the name of it is. So it will be one of the names that you guys suggested. I love them all, really, I do. I'm really gravitating towards midnight, but I don't want to commit until I actually see what it looks like. So I kind of know what it looks like, but you never quite know what it looks like until it's really, really finished. So, so we accomplished what we set out to do today, yay. And I hope you guys have picked your favorites. So again, Lagoon and Poppy are available in the Etsy shop. And of course, the third color will be available sometime tomorrow.
And the links for those are in the description.
Awesome, thank you, Tony.
Kathy D says, wow, stunning.
Thank you so much, Kathy.
Lorraine says, very pretty, all of them.
Thank you so much, Lorraine.
Fonda says, so beautiful, love it.
Thank you, Fonda. So in the meantime, I'm going to give you a little preview of what we're doing tomorrow.
Diana says, you're a great detailed instructor. Thanks a bunch.
Thank you so much, Diane.
Lorraine says, thank you both.
Thank you so much.
Janie says, I love the Ceylon colors and also its hand and flow and sheen. I started doing it with kumihimo and grabbed it for stringing when I didn't have something better handy.
Nice, and it worked out, I bet, really well.
The poppy button is beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Pammy J says, gorgeous, love the buttonholes.
Awesome.
Robin Marie says, love this.
Yay, thank you so much.
Candy says, morning glory for the other blue one.
Oh, yes, yes, for this one.
Connie says, gorgeous bracelets. Love all colorways.
Thank you so much, Connie.
Yolanda says, eclectic blue.
I like eclectic blue. Gee, I wonder why I like that.
Ellen says, thank you. Wonderful demo.
Thank you so much. Well, just about everything is in my life is pretty eclectic. So, okay, guys, so this is what I'm doing tomorrow. This is a his or hers bracelet. You guys have been asking me for a bracelet for a man, and so I made it so that it can be for either, like anybody can wear it, and hence his or hers. But of course, I styled it so that it's a little bit more unisex. And tomorrow we will talk about what makes it unisex and how you would change it from a feminine style to a more masculine style. So we will talk about that tomorrow. I'm really excited about it.
Glenda says, love the demo. Awesome.
Thank you so much, Glenda.
Kim K says, can't wait to make mine. Thank you.
Oh, yay! Thank you so much. Do you have a favorite? What's your color?
Carmen says, wonderful.
Awesome. Thank you, Carmen.
Joan says, moon glow or midnight moon.
Yay! I like Midnight Moon. All right, guys. So this is what we're doing tomorrow, and that's a his or hers. And then next Thursday, same time, same place, we are going to making another flower bracelet yet. This is definitely, I am in my flower mode. And so I'm just finding a lot of inspiration in beads that are shaped like flowers, and of course a lot of awesome color. So if you are craving spring color, this is the bracelet that you probably are going to want to make. So this is a memory wire bracelet. It's very easy. It is just so easy to make. If you have not yet worked with memory wire, it's a lot of fun. And if you have, it's still a lot of fun. And so there's a lot of movement in this bracelet. There are these little springy baubles, little blooms on both sides of the bracelet. So whichever way your bracelet happens to flip, there are blooms everywhere.
Allie says, so cute. Nice way to use the flower beads.
Oh, thank you so much, Allie. I'm definitely just such a flower person, especially this time of the year, as we are anticipating those spring flowers. Actually, I'm just going to leave it on my wrist.
Patty says, beautiful tutorial.
Thank you so much, Patty. And then this is still part of my preview, you guys. So maybe upside down. So this is Desert Journey, or no, Desert Treasure. So this is the Desert Treasure, and I'll tell you why it is called that. So these beautiful fossilized ammonites, so the nautilus or the ammonite, they come from the desert, the Sahara Desert, and they have been there for thousands and thousands of years. Well, a long time since they had a chance to actually become fossilized.
Kim C says, your memory wire bracelet blooms look like the Hawaiian plumeria I grow in my yard in Florida. Gorgeous.
Oh, beautiful. I love plumeria. I love the scent of plumeria, and the blooms are so elegant. So thank you. I really appreciate that. So, and I'm jealous too. I wish we could grow plumeria, but I'm happy for you. So, so this is a, how can I describe this? So this is definitely a boho vibe sort of necklace that has this wonderful element. I love ammonites. It's one of my favorite elements ever. And that is because, it's that natural spiral. It's that beautiful, perfect spiral that is created by nature. And of course, all the other gemstones are just here to complement that focal point. So I think it's fun, it's springy, but it really could be any time of the year. And it can be as long or as short as you want.
Yolanda says, everything you make, I'm in awe.
Oh, thank you, Yolanda. Thank you so much. All right, guys, so that was our preview. So again, this is our Friday project. Well, this is our next Friday project. This is our tomorrow's project. And of course, the garden dream or dreamy garden. This is my dreamy garden right on my wrist. And that is next Thursday. So, of course, I hope you can join me for all of them. In the meantime, please RSVP. There is a link to the events right in the description of the video. So, super easy to find. So, in the meantime, this was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for all of your comments. Thank you for the color names. That was awesome. Thank you for those beautiful color suggestions. And I will see you tomorrow morning. In the meantime, have a wonderful and creative evening.